Hi angels, welcome back to another resin video. So in this video we're going to be making a Lizzie McGuire resin shaker clutch purse. Everything that I'm going to be using I'll leave the link for it down in the description box down below if I can find it. So what I did was I mixed up my resin off camera, and now I'm just adding on in there a little bit of some orange pigments. Just mix it up to make sure you get rid of any little chunk pieces and that you mix up the pigment great with the resin. Now I'm just pouring it down into the mold. Usually you can just let this sit and cure overnight for 24 hours, but anytime you take it out overnight or 24 hours, it's usually a little bit bendy and I don't like that. So I just let it sit in the mold for 2 days before I remove it from the mold. Also, I didn't show this part, but I went over it with my lighter to get rid of any little tiny bubbles. Or you can use 99% ibuprofen alcohol to get rid of bubbles, whichever way works best for you, but I just went over it with my lighter. Nice and easy. And that's it. That's the first step. Well, not the first step, but you get it. And a few days later, I made this shaker part. I already have a video of how I made this. So this is the shaker part of the bag. Now we can just pop out the purse out of the mold. Pop in, and this is how it looks. The only thing I would do is instead of using orange, I probably should have just went with some pink. But either way, it still looks pretty good. So this confetti I got from Michael's, I think. I thought it would be pretty cool. Usually whenever I'm making shaker clutch purse, I would either go with some glitter, some confetti, or some pigments. I never used something like this before, so I was like, oh, this is a good idea. I just wanted to see how it would turn out. If it would be moving, it would be falling slow. So I just wanted to see how it would look. So this is shaker part. I place it down, make sure to press down on it to make sure everything is flat. Spreading it around the little confettis. So what I'm going to do is, with my UV resin, I'm just going to go over the edges of this because we're going to be placing it down and curing it with my UV light. Just a little bit of some UV resin. You don't need a lot. After doing that, just place it on top. Make sure that it's in the center. And push down on it to make sure it's sticking on it properly. Now with my UV light, we're going to be curing it. So we're just going to be going around the edges a few times to make sure it's good. You can just check up on it to make sure that it's hard. Then that's so you know that it is fully cured and that you're good to go. So I'm putting some weight on it with my hands to make sure that it's laying down there flat, and I'm just curing it with my light. It really doesn't take that long to cure, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. Make sure you go around the edges. Every edge, there is no leakage. Every part of it is cured. So that's what I'm doing right there. After I did that, I realized, okay, it's good. So to make sure that you have extra, to make sure it's extra secure, I always go over the edge with a little bit of some more UV resin. And we're going to be repeating the same step. We're going to cure it with our UV light. But before we do that, there's sometimes a little bit of some bubbles around the edge. Make sure that you pop it first before you cure it with the UV light. So that's it. Just going around the edges and make sure that it's secure. The same thing that we did before. Every part of it needs to be cured. Otherwise, the baby oil is going to completely leak out. And you're just going to be wasting stuff. So let it sit on there for like a few minutes. We can fast forward this part because you guys already got the idea. Dun 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 dun. Okay, so we finished curing it with a UV light. I'm checking it to see if it's good, if there's any cracks. Checking the edges to see if there's any bubbles, if there's anything like that, if it's possible to be leaking out. That's what I'm doing off camera. Sorry that you guys can't see. But I realized that some part of it was very sticky, so I had to go over it with my UV light again to make sure it's fully cured properly. And after that, everything is looking great. Everything is looking good. I fill up this needle bottle with some baby oil. This is how it's looking. So I drilled a little hole up top. And I was trying to find the hole that I drilled, because obviously I did drill a hole. And I could not find it, so I ended up deciding to drill another hole. For the hole is right up there, right where my little finger is, my pinky finger, but I could not see it for some reason. I don't know why. Shame, shame, shame. So, got my drill another hole. Don't worry, the other hole I closed up with some UV resin and a UV light, but this drilling, get rid of all that little dust. You won't see that spot once I fill it up with my baby oil. So after I drilled it, I must fill it all the way up with the baby oil. This is going to take a few minutes, because this circle mold is the biggest mold that I have, this biggest purse mold that I have. So it does take a good minute to fill up. That bottle right there, you're going to use probably like more than half of it just to fill it all the way up to the top. I'm getting rid of the dust and everything that's around it, because I don't want it inside of the mold. But this is how it's look. I still haven't filled it all the way up, but I just wanted to show you guys how it looks so far. You're still able to shake it, and it's moving around a little bit. It looks good. Pretty cool. I like it. Now let's start filling it up with a baby oil. I started off camera. The top part of this bottle broke, so I have to be holding it while I squeeze it, and some of the baby oil was leaking at the side. I was like, oh my god, this is just too much. I don't know what happened, but the top of these bottles completely broke. Huh. Shame, shame, shame. For shame. Filling it all the way up. Also, I realized I didn't tell you guys about this. I didn't show you guys, I meant. After I finish filling up this little tiny hole that we drill up top with the baby oil, I'm going to put a little bit of some UV resin over the part that we drill, and then cure it with my UV light so that nothing is able to leak out. You have to close it up, otherwise everything's just going to be leaking out. Okay, so this is how it turned out. This is how it looks. It looks pretty cool. It's floating perfectly to the bottom, to the top. This just looks absolutely stunning. It's raining outside while I'm filming this, but it looks so cute. I like the way how it turned out perfectly. And also I added the frame of the bag to it. I didn't glue it down or anything. To secure it, the bag together, just use some UV resin, or you can just use some E6000 glue to just glue it all together, and it will stick on there perfectly. But yeah, this is how it turned out. It looks pretty cool. I like the way how it turned out. Yeah, it's okay. Not my top favorite, but it looks good. I didn't show you guys the inside of the bag. Don't know why. I've made a ton of these. You should know how the inside of the bag looks already. Dun dun. It's not leaking. Everything looks good. And that's it for the video. Bye.